Hi friends, my name is Debbie Abel and today we're going to be painting peonies for watercolor paper. I'm going to be using this one right here. It's a journal, and paint I'm going to be using my Melian. This is student grade, very affordable. For brushes, the number 12 filbert, the number 0 for some details, and also my number 12. So we're going to start off by putting a red color, and this is a mix of 3 different colors. We're gonna start off by putting with the filbert brush. We're gonna make this kind of strokes, very simple, nothing complicated, just with the flat part of the brush. That's what we're gonna be using, and we're gonna put some paint. Then we're gonna clean our brush, pick up some water, and do some kind of a highlight. Then you clean your brush, and we're going to be doing some lifting. So just remove some of the extra paint in some areas to give some highlights and keep some contrast also. We're going to be doing some more on this part of the flower, and keep it simple. They don't have to be perfect. This is the first layer, and we're going to be doing some more details later on when this one dries completely. We're going to close a little bit our circle, and now we're moving to our sienna. I'm adding it to the mix of the reds just to give it a deeper color, and we're going to be using the same brush, and we're just going to be doing the exact same strokes. So very simple. Just press on the paper and pick up some more paint, add some more water to give some highlights of some of the petals. We don't want the flower to be completely just one color. We want some highlights and some contrast. So that's why we clean our brush and pick up some of the paint. You can also wipe it off with your paper towel to give some highlights. And then we're moving to our sienna. We're making another flower up here. For the composition, I'm putting 3 flowers and 2 buds, and I'm adding a little bit of the cadmium yellow just to give a little bit different color to my flower. Some petals are going to be sienna, some are going to be yellow, and I'm just going to clean my brush, get rid of some of the extra paint, and just add some water to it. And it's going to give me really nice highlights. Now we're going to put the stem with the sap green, and this is just the sap green by itself, making a straight line. Pick up some more paint, and we're making another curved line. We don't want all of the lines to be too straight, because otherwise the flower doesn't look natural or organic. We want to make sure it has some kind of movement. And over here we're going to put a bud. So we start by making a upside down U, and you bring your stem all the way down. We're going to make a kind of like a oval shape, and that's going to be our bud. Clean your brush, and there we're going to put another bud on this side. The same thing, we're going to make an oval shape, and I'm going to be picking up some of my dark green, which is sap green with a little bit of ultramarine blue. If you don't have that one, you can use sap green and a little bit of the Payne's gray just to make it a little bit darker. We add some of the darker color to the stems. Don't cover the whole bud. We want to keep some of the highlights also. The darker color, we're just going to put it on the outside, and the inside is going to be our lighter color. Then we're going to pick up some of our red, and we're going to add it to the side. I'm picking up some of my darker green just to give a little bit more contrast to this bud. And also for the stem, we're gonna go to the center of our flower and we're gonna just tap 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 with the tip of my brush and go in a circle. And this is my sap green. This is a very simple step, nothing complicated. I tried to paint very simple, very easy, so anybody can paint these flowers. I tried to make it as simple as possible, and I hope you are painting along. So we're just using the tip of the brush. This one is more on an oval shape because it's facing sideways. It's facing my left, so this is going to be more like an oval, not a complete circle. And I'm just using the tip of the brush, adding a little bit more of my darker green. In the center, we're keeping some of the highlights. Make sure you don't cover all the sap green that we already put in it. You want to have some of the light green and some of the darker areas. I'm adding a little bit more dark green. It's gonna kind of spread a little bit because of watercolor. When it's wet on wet, it moves a little bit, but it's okay. That's what we want, a little bit of the blending. And we're adding some more darker green to some of the stems. We don't want to do all of them. We want to do just few and keep some of the lighter sap greens in between. So we're going to connect this flower to the stem. So again, I'm just putting the sap green, and then we are going to pick up some of the dark green and we're going to add it to it. Now we're going to do some contrast for this flower, give it some personality. And this is pretty much, you have to use your intuition. You don't have to follow every single line that I'm making. Just make it your own, and whatever feels right for you, that's what you're going to do. And if you feel that the lines are too hard, just clean your brush with clean water, go back to it and wipe off some of the extra paint. You can also add some water if you want, or you can use your paper towel and just pick up some of the paint with the paper towel and try to blend. Don't leave no hard lines. We want this flower to look very organic, so make sure you clean your brush, blend a little bit, and keep some of the contrast also. We're moving to the other side. This flower is going to have some darker areas, and some of the petals are going to be like kind of folded, so we're going to put some shadows in there to give that kind of look that the leaf or the petal is a little bit folded. And this is just my mix of my reds, and I added a little bit of my sienna, and it's just a little bit darker than the previous color we had before. I'm adding some here in the center to give some contrast to this petal and making some lines. And some more marks for this side of the petals. And I'm picking up some more paint, adding some more shadows. Always clean your brush when you are in doubt. Clean the brush with clean water, and you can remove any extra paint that you don't like. You can do some lifting, or you can use your paper towel, whatever is easy for you. And as you can see, this flower is looking really nice. It's getting some personality on its own. And I'm just adding a little bit more brown to get a little bit more contrast to my flower. The same colors, the red ones, and just a little bit more brown to my mixture, and making some more line marks. And I will be blending those in a little bit, just put in some places to give more shadows. And you can put as many line marks as you want or as little as you want. You can also use mixed media like watercolor pencils. You can use crayons. You can use pastels, acrylics, anything that you have at home, or you can just use your watercolor paint. Adding a little bit more shadows to some areas. Like I said, this flower is facing to the left, so it's gonna have a little bit more shadows like in the center of the flower, and the outside is gonna be the lighter color. That's where the sun hits the petals, so the petals are gonna have more light to it. And you don't have to do every single one, just few marks here and there is gonna give really nice contrast to your flower, and it's gonna make it pop really nice. I'm adding a little bit shadow here because this part is flipped, so that's what we're trying to do by adding the shadow and keeping the light color on the inside. Blending some of this area. Clean your brush every time you're trying to go back. Make sure your brush is nice and clean, and remove any extra water. We don't want to have like a swimming pool inside your petals, so make sure you wipe off any excess water that you have in your brush. And picking up some more paint, adding some more shadows to some of the petals. And you can use any colors that you like. In this case, I'm using the reds, but you can use pinks, or you can use yellows, oranges, whatever color you prefer, or whatever color you have at home. Picking up some of my brown and adding them in some areas, few more marks. And we will be moving on to the yellow flower. Now we're gonna add some of this brown to the inside of the flower, the center of the flower, just to give more contrast and more definition. And we're just using the tip of the brush, and we're gonna keep some of the sap green. We don't want to touch that beautiful color. We're gonna keep some of that color. We're gonna put some in the center or some around the center. And now with your thin brush, we're gonna make some line marks, and this is just very simple. Just pull from top to bottom, and if it's too dark, just clean your brush and go back to it on top and kind of try to move the paint around. And this is just the leftover paint from the previous layer, and I'm just making some really thin marks. And you don't have to do every single one, just few of them is gonna make the flower look really nice. Adding some more shadow to this part, and I'm using the brown just to add some more shadow, make it a little bit more on the darker side, and some on this part also. And we're gonna add some to this other petal. Now we're adding the shadow to the part that is flipped, and we're making that kind of like a line where the shadow is, where the flipping part is, and making some more line marks to the other petals. And make sure you blend it if it's too hard. For this one, I'm using the leftover paint, some of the sienna, some of the cadmium yellow, and a little bit of my sap green. And as you can see, I went too dark, so I just used my paper towel and wipe off any excess. That's a really nice technique, and anytime that you add too much color, you can also use your paper napkin and just remove some of the paint so it won't be too hard. And this one I'm just separating, separating the petals, so you can see that there are few petals in the front and there is one in the back, and adding some more of the lines for this flower. And some of the front petal. And friends, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give it a like so other people can watch this video. I would really appreciate it. It will help me so other people will be able to see this and maybe paint along or maybe just watch for fun. And we are putting the last details, adding some more of my darker green to the stem, connecting this flower to the stem, and some of this bud, just adding a little bit more lines to my bud, putting some darker color, making it pop a little bit more, and some more darker green to this flower too. I'm gonna add a little bit of the cadmium yellow to the flower, the center of the flower. I feel like it needed a little bit of the highlight that kind of got lost with the darker green. So I'm just bringing the light back to my center. And it doesn't have to be the entire center, just few dots here and there. Remember, the left flower is an oval shape, so we want to keep it in an oval, and the other one is more like a round shape. So make sure you keep your highlights and your contrast also, your shadows. We don't want to cover the whole center. We want to have some highlights and lowlights. And don't forget to check out my Etsy store. It's under the same name, Debbie's Art Journey. And you can see most of the paintings that I have done in the past on YouTube. So please check it out. Now we're gonna be doing some splatter. In this case, I'm using the leftover paint, the red, and some of my cadmium yellow. You can use any colors that you like for your splatter. And we're just gonna put it on two sides of the corners. Pick your corners and just put some color in it. It's gonna give some movement to your flowers. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you on my next one. Bye bye friends, take care.